Good evening, good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our service this evening. A few words of introduction before we begin. This is Shabbat HaGadol, the Sabbath before Passover, and I'm going to have some special words to say about that later on in the service. But this day, and yesterday, and tomorrow, and all the days ahead are also special anniversaries, sad anniversaries. For it was but a year ago when people we knew and people we loved and members of our congregation passed away as a result of the coronavirus. Kaddish takes a special meaning the first year, takes a special meaning every year, but at this time, we can't help but be saddened by the reality that has surrounded us. However, it is Shabbat and we're supposed to be in a happy mood, which I hope I can lead you into with our opening song and also some of the comments that I'm going to make this evening. Let us begin with the singing of Bim Bam. We continue now with the singing of the Shabbat Candle Blessing.
Candle Blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher tisharu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'od l'kner, le'od l'kner shel Shabbat.
For those of you who have your books with you, I'm on page 6. May the door of our synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. On page 24, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amuni LeShalom, Melachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love, we offer thanks and blessing, O God. Page 28, those of you who are able, please rise for the Baruch.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Oed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Oed.
Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chokhma poteach she'arim. U'bitbona meshane itim, u'machalif et hasmanim, u'mesader et hakokavim, v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mitne choshech, v'choshech mitne or, uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, uma'avir vein yom u'vein layla, Adonai tzvaot shmo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv haravim. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated and we continue on 36. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your being.
Set these words which I command you this day. Teach them faithfully to your children.
middle of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Nichamocha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, va'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44 is Shambu.
Besharu b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. besharu b'nei Yisrael et השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Page 46, we rise for the Tefillah.
Na 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 Adonai. Adonai, na na svatai tiktok. Na 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 ufi agid. Ufi agid tehiloteka. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 svatai tiktok. Na 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 ufi agid. Ufi agid tehiloteka. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, עליון ומלך חסדים טובים וגדולי הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ובגאולה לבניהם אמונה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מלך חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, תומך נבלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחייב אמונתו משגב כמוך בגבורות, ומלך אלוהות, מלך ידיד ומחייב, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמנותו להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי הכל.
Page 52, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יחללוך הסלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. I'm on the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Page 56, let's say.
Who's doing the say? Tonight you're going to get a picture.
It's
Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our life within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha ulachana lechodot. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people, forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Let us continue with a few moments of silence. Prayers for healing. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. We offer special prayers for those who are suffering from the coronavirus. We offer special prayers to give strength to those who are helping them in their time of need. We mention members of the congregation who aren't doing well at this time: Ralph Einstein, Terry Neese, Stuart Tauber. We think of all our friends who could use an extra prayer and some extra support. May the Eternal One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us all say amen as we sing together. A special prayer on behalf of those who are doing better or feeling better at this time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shegemalanu kol tov. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who bestowed your goodness upon us. Page 258, prayers for our community. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levatcha b'yirah na'avod. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. On page 259, Avinu Shabashamayim.
Strengthen the hearts of those who defend our holy land. Alleluia. Sheba Shammai, deliver them and crown them with triumph. Sheba Shammai. With peace, O Lord, and His inheritance with lasting joy. And let us say,
This is the Shabbat before Passover. Shabbat HaGadol, the name comes from the Haftorah reading for this Shabbat. This day and yesterday and the day after and all the days at this time of this year are also special and painful anniversaries. For it was a year ago that we started losing loved ones, friends, and colleagues to this horrendous virus. Anniversaries are not easy. They can't be. We pause for a moment, and sometimes longer than a moment, to mourn our losses. But the first year, the first anniversary, can often be the hardest, not that others are easy. We hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel for those of us who are still alive. I hope all of you will take advantage of whatever chance you have to get your vaccines, and then still wear your mask, wash your hands, keep social distancing. We cannot risk any more losses. This is also the second Pesach, the second Passover in a row, where we cannot celebrate, commemorate the way we are used to. Last year, I invited the congregation to join the Seder that we were going to have at our house, to join us virtually. We recorded that Seder, and the other day I decided to review it. Words I said then come to haunt me. I spoke about how we'd be back in our building next year, and we're not. I spoke about how we could postpone the search for the Afikoman by having a major Afikoman search once we're back in the building. Now we're going to have that search times 2. And I spoke about a couple of other things and I'll say more about them tomorrow night in the Seder we're having this year, about how we make the best of what we have. Maybe we don't have all the things we need on our Seder plate. Maybe we don't even have a Seder plate. But let's imagine that we do and celebrate nonetheless. The Jewish tradition tells us that a talk like this is supposed to end on a positive note. And a scriptural reading should never end on a negative note. Well, the Haftorah for the Shabbat before Pesach is from the book of Malachi. And it ends with the idea of a great and future redemption in the very distant or maybe even immediate future. Well, the immediate future, of course, didn't happen, but the hope was not lost. Past tense. At the Seder, we talk about the liberation from Egypt, but that's not all we do. There's a lot more to it. Present tense. We say that in every generation, someone rose up against us to destroy us, even now. And then the future, the hope for a greater redemption, liberation in the future. I am going to read to you the very end of this week's Haftorah reading. I will read it to you in English. It is from the 3rd chapter of the book of Malachi. And listen to what I'm about to say. I'm going to read verse 22, 23, 24, and then 23. And that may sound rather strange, but I'll explain. Be mindful of the teaching of my servant Moses, the Torah of Moses, whom I charged at Horeb with laws and rules for all Israel. Lo, I will send the prophet Elijah to you before the coming of the awesome, fearful day of the Lord. And the Hebrew there is Yom Adonai Hagadol Hanorah, the day of the Lord, great and fearful, awesome, whatever English word you want to use. He shall reconcile parents with children and children with their parents, so that when I come, I do not strike the whole land with utter destruction. That's verse 24. Well, you can't end something with the word destruction. So the rabbis decided that we go back and reread verse 23. Lo, I will send the prophet Elijah to you before the coming of the awesome, fearful day of the Lord, ending on a positive note. And this isn't the only Haftorah that ends that way. So don't say we all read the biblical text the same way. We are taking the biblical text and arguing against it by ending it positively. Now, Elijah, we all enjoy the whole story of Elijah visiting us at the Seder. We have to be very careful what we teach our children so they not become thoroughly demoralized if we make it sound too unrealistic. Last year, and I remember this clearly, I didn't need to see the recording to be reminded, as we were recording our Seder, I was sitting in our dining room and could see quite across the living room through a window, and almost at the same time Elijah was supposed to come in our Seder, UPS made a delivery. Was that Elijah? I enjoy making that humorous comment. We never know. For Elijah is not there for children to have fun with. In its deepest meaning, Elijah, at the time when we talk about the great redemption in the past, speaks to us about a future redemption, and that we do not give up, no matter how bad things are, no matter how painful our losses, we still hope for a better future. I hope all of us at this Passover season can imagine and expect a better future for all of us. And concretely and specifically, that next year we're back in our building celebrating a congregational Seder together. That is the kind of hope we need. I don't think it is an unrealistic hope. I need to be optimistic. It's what has kept our people going through the most difficult times. That next year it will be better. May God give us the strength to keep that optimism alive in our hearts and our souls, and to act and work toward that day. I'm now going to suggest that we turn to page 282. Please rise for the adoration.
Let's adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our Lord, and there is none else. God magnify, ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. I'm on page 292, a prayer before the Kaddish. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction, he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wish to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. We remember the recently departed. Let me mention, to start with, Ronald Lipo, that's Elise Skalinsky's brother, who just passed away today. Also, Sophie Pollock, Lee Black, Martin Ross, Al Grossman, Norman Gross, Florence Haar, B. Einstein, Dolores Scholdinger. We remember those whose yahrzeits occur at this time. Mort Skirbo, Betty Aronson, Faye Barron, Barbara Bernstein, Martin Bernstein, Beatrice Eisenstadt, Richard Feidelman, Rolf Filchenfeld, Julia Feinschreiber, Inga Hansen, Gertrude Hochberg, Edward Kaufman, Virginia King, Sidney Kite, Estelle Levitt, Rose Lichter, Jane Mann, Morton Margolis, Charles Rose, Sue Schneier, Richard Schumeister, Eva Schenken, James Stern, Vivian Tobias, Bill Weiss, Hanina Zinder, Ethel Gardner. And those of you who have additional names, please say them now, say them out loud, or say them to yourselves as we turn to page 294 and rise for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho Beit Yisrael b'agala ubizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'kalei v'yitalal shmei dekutsha riku le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. May the source of peace grant peace unto those who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us. And let us all say, Amen. Please be seated, and I call on Stuart Sinai, the president of our congregation, for some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. I always follow the Kaddish, which seems quite appropriate because not only am I president, but I'm chairman of the cemetery committee. And we were just out there yesterday, and it's a quiet, beautiful, serene place. And I want to thank you all for being with us tonight. I find our services, even on Zoom, so comforting, so welcoming, such a nice break from the week's activities. Rabbi, I want to thank you for your very thought-provoking, optimistic words tonight. We need optimistic words. And to Ann and the choir, Kai, Jamal, Allison, the beautiful soulfulness of the melodies and the music was just exquisite. I want to address something we spoke about today at the happy hour and that we discussed at our annual meeting. I want to talk for just a moment why we've taken on the opportunity to take on the programming that was formerly at the center shops. Its executive director, Susan Goldfarb, needed a home. And it was a rational and superb opportunity for both her and the temple, like a match made in heaven. I hope you all saw our description of her in the e-blast and heard her speaking tonight at our happy hour a few hours ago. We have been searching for that new and compelling aspect, programming. We've been talking about searching for the last several years to make our temple an even more appealing, aspiring place to belong, to come to. This was that grand opportunity. We will welcome the entire community, Jewish and Gentile, and of course, as you've heard perhaps, a substantial majority of the students at the Education Center happen to be Jewish. A lot of these people have never been in our building. We believe just by coming in the building, they're going to find a comforting, welcoming, conveniently close place. We hope they'll find it a place for worship, not just educational programs. I think they'll be They'll like the rationality and wisdom and the ease to relate to our rabbi. I think they'll like our astounding music, our choir, and enjoy our separate temple programs that will continue to be separate. Our choir concert, our gala, our men's and women's club, our scholar in residence weekends. We are stable today, but we need to look to the future and increase our presence and our outreach in this community and those of the contiguous neighborhoods. We're not waiting for that to happen by itself. That won't occur. We are reaching out, grabbing the chance that we boldly take. We are collectively moving to the future, to our next generation, and for the next generation after that. And now on to our announcements, our happenings over the next several days. You know, our e-blast is just filled with all kinds of activities, and I just want to cover a few of them. Of course, tomorrow, Shabbat services at 10. On Saturday evening, the rabbi and his family will conduct the first Seder at 6 p.m. On Sunday morning at 10 a.m., the rabbi will be conducting the Passover service. The singles group on Wednesday is sponsoring its next picnic. This is the third or fourth. They've been very successful. March 31 at noon Wednesday at our LBK Bayfront Park. Bring your own sandwich and drink and enjoy the wonderful and great fun company that's been occurring there every Wednesday when they have these meetings. Again, there's much more in our e-blast. Please check it. All the links to what I mentioned tonight are in our e-blast. Again, thank you for being with us tonight, especially those who are celebrating is not the word. What do I want to say, Carol? She's not around me.
Commemorating.
Commemorate. Thank you. Thank you. You can take Carol's place. Commemorate losing loved ones. We've all lost loved ones. Again, thank you for being with us. My Carol and I wish you a beautiful Shabbat and a meaningful Passover. Thank you. Rabbi?
Thank you, Stuart. Let us conclude this part of the service with the sing of Ein Kelohim. Page 322. May we all be granted a Shabbat of peace and happiness and safety and good health. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless us by protecting us. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.